There, thanks for clicking in. This is Amy McGrotty, your premier real estateologist, once again bringing you a video about life in South Florida. So just a little bit of background on me. I was a real estate attorney in South Florida, in Miami and Fort Lauderdale for about 30 years. And then 2017, I switched over to selling real estate. So I bring a lot to the table when I'm trying to help you find the right property for you in South Florida. So I am out of the office and into the streets, and here we go with this video talking about the pros and cons of living in Miami. So, if you're thinking about moving to Miami, that's great. Miami rocks. But before you pack your bags, listen to this so you can hear the cons, the downside of living in Miami, just to make sure it's for you. Because if it's not for you, don't move here. There's plenty of other places to move. But if it is for you, it is a city like no other. So, the first thing that I want to share with you is to start out on a positive note. Let's look at all the pros of living in Miami. The number one thing that everybody loves about living in Miami is the weather. I mean, the sun shines here for more days out of a year than anywhere else that I can think of, really. So, the weather, number one. That's why people love living in Miami. Number two reason that people love living in Miami is the beaches. You are so close to world-class beaches that it's not to be beat. I mean, you just look at that bottom of that peninsula, Miami and the Barrier Islands. The waters are user-friendly down here. Listen, I love California, Northern California, San Diego, love, love, love it. But the waters are just not as user-friendly in California. That Pacific Ocean can beat you up. And the cliffs are there, so your dockage is limited. Your ability to engage in water sports is limited because the water's cold. It's not easy to get to, but it is absolutely gorgeous. That is for sure. The water's all around it in Miami too, but it's a lot easier to get to. However, with all this water everywhere, not that much of it is public. So there's a lot of public beaches, miles and miles of public beaches, but dockage is a little bit harder to come by for your yacht. So if you're moving down here with a yacht and you need to have your boat in the backyard or you need to store your boat, check into those prices before you come down. But that still does not stop the fact that the number two reason that people move to Miami is because of the beaches and the waterfront lifestyle. The third attractive part about living in Miami is the cultural diversity. I mean, it's an amazing city. And it has such a great Latin and Caribbean flavor. It's really second to none, in my opinion. Of course, I'm biased. I was born and raised in Miami, so it's Miami, baby. But anyway, yeah, the cultural diversity is great. We have Little Havana, we have Little Haiti, we have Miami, and really it's a bilingual city. So that part is wonderful. It's embraced all the way from government to in the streets. And the food, an explosion of Caribbean and South American flavors, as well as, Florida people when they're recipes. They're really great. Which leads me to the next thing that everybody loves about living in Miami is the big city advantages. Restaurants, clubs that join into and fit into the cultural diversity. So you have so many restaurants to choose from, so many clubs to choose from. It's amazing. The fifth great reason to move to Miami and Florida in general is that we don't have any state sales tax here. So when you get your paycheck, the only thing coming out of it is the federal and the Social Security. no state sales tax. So if you're a high earner or a business person, that is a definite advantage. And the sixth and final thing that I could think of that's amazing about living in Miami is that it's such a fantastic travel hub. The Miami International Airport is probably one of the largest airports, especially on the eastern seaboard. So you want to make a trip to South America, you want to make a trip to the Caribbean islands, you want to make a trip to Europe, lots of nonstop flights, and it's an easy airport to get around, in my opinion. So those are the fantastic parts of moving and living in Miami. Now, you ready to hear the negatives? All right. I'm not a negative person, but we have to be honest, right? And you have to look at every facet of any city that you're moving to. So if you're planning on moving to Miami, one of the biggest thing I can think of that's a negative about living in Miami is the traffic. The traffic is pretty brutal on the city streets and on I-95 and on US 1. It seems these days, kind of any time of the day, you're going to be going slow. So, like it used to be, rush hour used to be from like 7 in the morning till 9:30 and from 4 o'clock till 6. Then it morphed into rush hour, meaning you're going like 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour on I-95 where it's speed limit 70. Now it's just like busy all the time, it seems. The time rush hour expanded from like 7 to 9:30 to like to 10. And then the back end of the workday, Monday to Friday, it kind of moved up to start traffic, high traffic, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon till like 7. So if you're going to commute, think about that. Maybe you might want to just live on Brickell because it's super walkable on Brickell. And a lot of people I know that live on Brickell and the condos on Brickell, they don't even have a car. It's like living in New York. Everything is there. Everything that you could possibly need is there on Brickell. Maybe Coral Gables, you might have that decent walkability, but other than that, you pretty much need a car to get around Miami. And know that since you're going to be in that car, you're going to be in that car for a long time, a lot of hours sitting in traffic. So just crank up the music, make yourself a good playlist, and count on it. Or how about audiobooks? I use audiobooks to get through that as well. Or sightsee. The city is beautiful. So traffic. And mass transit, by the way, there is some mass transit. We have the Metro Rail and Brightline and the Tri-Rail. It's not the greatest, but it does exist. But it's not like New York or DC or the BART in Northern California. Still needs some work. But I'll tell you though, getting from the airport to all the way up to Palm Beach County on the Tri-Rail is a breeze. So if you're thinking about flying in and going up to points north, take the Tri-Rail. It's fabulous. Okay, the second con of living in Miami, which you've heard this on some of my other videos, pros and cons of living in Fort Lauderdale, pros and cons of living in Florida. We're in a hurricane zone. That's it. So be ready for high insurance costs if you own property. And just get your mind ready to live through a hurricane. It's no big deal to those of us that have been through hurricanes for our whole lives, but it's weird. It's like you watch the hurricanes coming for like a week, and it's madness. So if you do move down here, know that you live in a hurricane zone. It's a tropical paradise, and that's where hurricanes hit. They love the warmth just like we do. So just be ready to deal with hurricanes, that's all, and pay for the cost of insurance as a price of living in a hurricane. But also, turn your television off when the hurricanes are coming. Just don't be glued to television. These weathermen will make you nuts on the news for like a week before the storm comes unnecessarily. Turn it on, know it's coming. Listen to the radio, know it's coming, pop in, pop out, now and then. I actually go on the NOAA website. It's the National Oceanographic Atmospheric Association. This is the hub in Miami where the guys look at hurricanes and fly their planes into the eye of the storm and things like that. So the world-renowned experts work at NOAA in Miami. So just get on the NOAA website and look at it now and then. Look at the projected path, look at the wind speed, and don't let the sensational news freak you out and get you nervous. That's like half the battle. And know that you're going to be fine. Let's see. Oh, yes. I'm looking at my list. The other con that I came up with about living in Miami is, by all consensus and articles that I've read, is that it's a high cost of living compared to other areas in the country. So from the cost of housing to acquire homes to the cost of maintaining the homes. Even compared to Fort Lauderdale, which is just up the street, Miami prices are higher for acquisition of condos or homes or multifamilies or industrial properties. It's just more money to buy properties and to maintain properties because the insurance. And the taxes aren't exactly cheap either, the real estate taxes. You don't pay taxes on your paycheck, but you do pay state taxes or county taxes on your real estate. Just go in with eyes wide open, make sure that the property fits within your budget. And there you go. You live in Miami, happy as a... And if it doesn't fit in your budget, then you move up or down the coast or to another state entirely. I mean, nobody has to buy property anywhere. You probably might even want to rent for a little while if you're not familiar with the city and just see what part of the cities that you like. Let's see, the other con to living in Miami is a competitive job market. So a big source of employment is hospitality. We have a lot of hotel units down here, and we employ all the people that run those hotels and run those restaurants and everything involved in hospitality, because we get a lot of tourists in Miami. They come for the sun, baby. So they're here, and it's wonderful. The other big industries, we have pretty good employment opportunities. Yeah, the financial industry. Miami is working on, and it's made great strides lately, becoming a new tech hub. So if you're in the tech industry, the finance industry, the hospitality industry, or the real estate industry, you're going to have pretty good opportunities. If you're in any industries other than that, you might not. Like manufacturing's not really high down here. We don't have a lot of land, so we capitalize on that land in the tourism. We capitalize on that weather in the tourism market. But don't forget, Miami sits between an ocean and a swamp, and it's not that many miles. And then the swamp takes up a lot of it at the bottom of Florida. So because of the limited amount of land, there's a lot of vertical growth and a lot of tourism. So those are going to be your main areas of employment. And because of the significant tourism that we have here in Miami, the other con to living in Miami would be some parts of the city might have a transient feel because you're surrounded by tourists. That would be on South Beach, downtown a little bit too, and many of the popular parts of Miami. You're going to have a harder time like building a network of friends, long-term neighbors and stuff, because you're really going to be primarily surrounded by tourists. So those are the pros and cons of living in Miami. Okay, so is Miami right for you? Are you ready to move down here to the land of sunshine, paradise, and big city life? If you are, hit me up by phone, email, WhatsApp, whatever it is, and I'm happy to help you find a place. And if you're not sure, still hit me up on any method that you want to communicate with me. And we'll look around Miami. It's so diverse in the neighborhoods and sections that I really kind of covered the city of Miami and not the suburbs and the nearby municipalities that are still in Dade County. So perhaps another area in Miami-Dade County, but not in downtown Miami, might work better for you. So hit me up and I will help you determine whether or not Miami is the place for you. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell for notifications, and please share this video if you know anyone that's thinking about moving to Miami. Thanks for joining and have a fabulous day. Bye.